welcome back to another video. As you can see, we are back at the lake again. And of course, I got my old trusty bass raider here. Today, we're gonna do some things with the outboard. So the last video I did was about the mud motor. Today, we're gonna check out, should you put an outboard on your plastic John boat, bass raider, whatever boat you want. So this is a little Mercury, 4 horsepower, same thing as a Taihatsu. I think there's another one too, that they're basically all the same motors. This thing weighs 55 pounds. So she's a little heavier than the mud motor. The mud motor weighs 38-40 pounds. So it's a little bit heavier, and without reinforcements, you will be flexing that transom. So you will definitely have to reinforce it. I just did a little rudimentary reinforcement with what I had laying around at my house. It's not pretty, but it does work. So one thing I didn't mention in the last video I did with the mud motor is the turning radius. The turning radius with the mud motor is not very good because obviously, you know, the shaft goes way the heck out there. So when you're turning, it takes a while to turn. The outboard, however, turns pretty much kind of on a dime. So it's great as far as turning. Another thing I forgot to mention with the mud motor was that it is loud. And so if you don't like noise, a mud motor might not be for you, but these outboards are super quiet because the exhaust comes through the water. So they're very quiet. However, the mud motor, you guys can see in the video, the exhaust is straight up out of the engine. Even though I got a muffler on it, it is still quite loud. So as I was saying in the mud motor video, as far as setup, you might just leave it on there. Like in the last video I said, it might not apply to everybody. You might just transport it on there with the motor. So if you're planning on doing that, ignore this. But if you're planning on breaking it down, as far as the outboard, as you can see, it's just, you stick it on there, tighten it down, and you're good to go. Whereas the mud motor, you have to tighten down the nut and then put it together. So it takes a little bit of time. This is quite a bit faster if you want to get up and get out in the water. It's great for just that. I actually like the outboard now that I've used it some. I kind of prefer the outboard over the mud motor, but the mud motor does have its advantages. So one great thing about the outboard is this right here. So as I was showing you in the last video with the mud motor, and if you're in deep water, you have to bring that tail all the way around and stick it over there. Not a big deal, but it's still kind of annoying, and yeah, it can be a pain after a while. If you want to move spots, keep going back and forth with that tail. However, like an outboard, it just sits there, no worries at all. Don't have to move it. I've just got it tilted up because it's pretty shallow here, but it's way easier than the mud motor. But like I said, the mud motor still has its advantages, because this is actually one of the advantages right here of the mud motor as far as tilting. So the mud motor, you don't have to stop and tilt the engine. If you hit shallow water, you just press down on the handle and the propeller comes up out of the water. Whereas this, obviously you have to stop, you have to press the tab, push it up, and then start off again. So not a huge deal, but that is one of the disadvantages of an outboard. As I said in the last video, that motor is a 6.5 horsepower, but being tuned, it's probably right around 9. And this is a 4 horsepower motor, and they both go about the same speed. This one goes like 8-9 miles an hour, and the mud motor goes like 8-9-10 miles an hour sometimes. So it's kind of interesting to see that the 4 horsepower versus the mud motor, that 9 horsepower. It's very interesting. However, I did upgrade the prop on the mud motor, so it's a 7-inch prop. It comes with a 6.5, and I decided to go with the 7, and that did give it about a mile an hour faster. I plan later on in a little bit, I'm going to do the 6 horsepower upgrade kit, because these are pretty much all the same for the 4, the 5, and the 6. It's just a different carburetor and propeller. So I'm probably just going to get the 6 horsepower carburetor and propeller for it and see if it does any better. Just check it out. Another good thing about this is you have reverse, neutral, and forward, unlike the mud motor where it's just forward, unless you buy that clutch kit for it, but you still have no reverse. Now they do make the actual surface drives, smaller ones that actually, well, I don't know if they make it in the smaller ones, but I know they do make the surface drives that have reverse, but I think those are only available in the bigger sizes. But that's one good thing: forward, neutral, and reverse. And also the throttle control is right here. Like I said on the other one, I had to create a throttle control. Not a big deal, it still works, but it's kind of a little bit of a pain, but nothing horrible. With an outboard, however, you are going to have more maintenance with an outboard versus the mud motor, because the mud motor is air cooled, and basically all you have to do is put oil in it and then lube up the shafts. That's about it. This is a little bit more in depth because this is water cooled. No big deal there, but there is a little impeller down there that you have to replace eventually, and you have to grease up the lower unit, or not grease up, but oil up the lower unit. So drain it, fill it every year, 100 hours or so, and then of course oil. But it's not horrible maintenance. It's something I can do myself. If you're mechanically inclined, you could do it yourself. It's very easy. I might do a video on it once that time comes, but that's going to be quite a while till before it gets a year. Well guys, that's all I can think of off the top of my head right now as far as this motor. Let's take it out on the lake. It's a kind of gloomy, overcast day. I hope there's no rain coming in. I know the rain's been off in a distance. They said we're not supposed to be getting rain, but you know how that goes. But we're not very far from the dock, so if it does start raining. So let's take it out. We're gonna go over there. I'm gonna throw some catfish lines up and see if we can catch some catfish, and you guys can see how this does. probably put the trim down here in a minute. Probably go ahead and do that. There we go. I just lowered the motor. Head right over there. Hopefully I don't hit any stumps. Go a little bit slower. There are a lot of hidden stumps around here. What I mean about it being quiet though? Way quieter. Also, another thing is you don't have to hold on to it like crazy like the mud motor. Mud motor you have to constantly hold on to. This, kind of relax. You gotta watch out for stumps around here. Good. Very good. Alright, on we go. All right, well, we made it to kind of the spot where I wanted to be at. So I'm gonna throw out some pool noodles and stuff, and let's see if we can't catch some stuff today. It's kind of windy. Wrong way. That's fine though. I'll throw this other one out over here. Come back in a little bit and see if anything bites. Well, I just came back over here and our bait got stole, so I'm gonna rebait these things and see if we can maybe catch one this time. I'm gonna throw it more over this way, I think, though. It is kind of windy, so the wind is blowing this way. This is the turning radius I'm talking about. This thing is just turns on a dime. The mud motor, I couldn't be in here because I'd be crashing into everything. Grab this other one. Uh-oh, we're on something. We beached ourselves on a stump. No. It's not very deep, but still. All right. Might have to paddle this way. What's the problem with being in here? All these hidden stumps. There we go. Now we're off. Just gotta be careful. Don't want to poke a hole in the boat. That's for sure. That's why I always go slow through here. Got the bait on it, so it hasn't been stole yet. Alright, we're gonna go over here, throw it in a different spot. Alright, let's hope we get something. Well, guys, I came down this little canal here. seeing what was down here, but I think we have found the end, because I don't think I'm getting through that. Well, we are back over here. I already checked one and nothing, and obviously this one has nothing on it, so oh well. Well, that was fun, and didn't really catch anything, but I really wasn't actually trying to, just out here having some fun. I think I'm gonna go ahead and head back in, which is over there somewhere, and relax for the rest of the day, because Saturday, why not? At least the rain never came. The rain bypassed us, so that's always good when it doesn't rain. So enjoy the ride back. Well guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video with the outboard. I hope you enjoyed the other video with the mud motor. If you haven't seen that, go check that one out too, because I do the mud motor on that one. This one was the outboard. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, we'll see you later.